Yesterday I made a video where I discussed the breaking news that China is starting to relax their zero COVID policies. However, there were some people that made the very reasonable assumption that just reducing travel related lockdowns to 8 days as opposed to 10 or whatever the number was is not the right time to be barreling into these securities and buying up everything. It's not the huge buying opportunity that we would expect. And you're of course right. And the point that was made in that video was that, listen, it's going to be a slow trickle out until the zero COVID policies are completely gone. However, Bloomberg actually, before this announcement came out, spoke to 5 different groups of professionals. And I just made the note here. They spoke to health experts, they spoke to political observers, they spoke to market watchers, they spoke to economists, and they spoke to travel professionals. And in this video, I'm going to discuss exactly what all of those groups of people have to say about when they expect the COVID lockdowns to end. And so that's what I'm going to cover in this video. So guys, as you smash that like button, let me run that intro. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive into this article because I found it very interesting, albeit it did come out before the breaking news announcement came out yesterday, and so just keep that in mind as we go through it. But you can see that the article is written by Bloomberg, and they just said this is how long experts see China clinging on to the zero COVID policies. And they summarized basically everything that they heard from the professionals at the top of the article. They basically just said that Bloomberg News sought the views of panel experts in health, politics, economics, and travel. And while most of them are divided on their timelines, almost all agree on one thing, that China needs to open up effective vaccination. And that's something that a lot of the smart viewers on this channel, they constantly say, you always see it in the comments, and I love the fact that you guys do make that comment, which is that the Chinese developed vaccines are not as effective as the mRNA ones. And so one of the key pieces of material that we're going to be looking for as we start gauging when these zero COVID policies are going to be behind us is when they start allowing Western developed mRNA vaccines to be used on their population. And so that's the one key that I'm looking out for. But you can see they started with the health experts. The health experts basically noted 3 items, which you can see right at the very bottom. They're looking for a strong promotion of vaccination, easing of travel restrictions, and a triage system where COVID patients with mild symptoms don't have to be hospitalized. Now, we haven't seen that strong promotion of vaccination yet, at least as it relates to mRNA vaccines. I do believe that that's going to be coming. You did see that second point that they're looking for, where they wanted to ease travel restrictions. I think those travel restrictions will ease further. Now, the third point that they're making, I haven't really heard much about the triage system for COVID patients with mild symptoms not needing to be hospitalized. I haven't heard much about that, but I'm going to keep an eye on that. Guys, let me know in the comments if you know. I'm sure some of you guys know this already, and so let me know and guide me towards an article where I may have missed that. Now, when it comes to the political observers, I saw one really interesting piece of information. So the party did not paint itself into a corner with an even stronger rhetoric for COVID zero policies, and so this gives them room to ease COVID zero in the future, as what Frank Tsai, a lecturer at the Emlon Business School, did say. And of course, you're now seeing that. Remember, this article was written before the news that was released a couple of days ago, or I think it was yesterday. And so we are starting to see news as it relates to things opening up. And this is probably one of the reasons why. Now, he doesn't expect any substantial changes to the policy through 2023, but he did say that President Xi could still declare a mission accomplished at any time. And so this is what the political observers are looking for. They're looking for overseas visits by President Xi Jinping, and some of those could be related to the Formula One Grand Prix, the Asian Games, and the only one that I would sort of add to that would be that Bali UN visit. I was under the impression that he is going. Guys, let me know if I'm mistaken that, because it sounds to me like he is visiting with President Biden in the Bali UN talks, but you guys let me know if I've misinterpreted that. But so we're starting to see some of that now, traveling internationally by President Xi Jinping. And so obviously these are moves in the right direction. Of course, the other part of it, which is what the political observers did also mention, is that the public's patience is starting to wear thin. And so that'll push the politicians to sort of ease further. And I think that's one of the drivers as to why they're easing the policies so soon after their major political party meetings. Now, when it comes to market watchers, most analysts don't really expect anything substantial, at least before the NPC meeting, and that's already happened, and so it is what it is. And so what they're saying is that they're looking for 2 conditions for President Xi Jinping to shift before the easing will happen. One of them is political certainty, and the second one is public support. And I think he has the second one for sure, the public support. I think the patience is wearing thin on it. But I don't know about the political certainty. Like, there could be some blowback if the hospitals get overrun. And so they do have to worry about that. And so I think the market watchers are right. The one thing that they're looking for is just softer rhetoric, easing of the policies. And we're starting to see that now. And so the market watchers would be right in saying that we're probably going to see further easing now that they've already gone down the path. Of course, what they're not answering is when do they expect full easing in general. Now, as a market watcher myself, I would say that you'd probably see full easing by the end of 2023. Let me know what you guys think. Now, the economists have said that if China doesn't end zero COVID policies by 2025, it could have long-term effects, and it could make it difficult to deliver on targets set in China's 2035 plan to become a middle-income nation, which is according to Bloomberg Economics. And so what they're really starting to look for is the availability of sufficient mRNA vaccines, higher vaccination rates, and improved hospital capacity. And so I think the economists have it the most right. Like, I just don't see full reopening without the introduction of mRNA vaccines in the country, and also with improving just vaccination rates overall. And so we'll see how this plays out. Now, finally, the travel professionals. What they're saying is that while the whole industry has been looking for even the smallest sign of political change, expecting zero COVID and its border curbs will be quickly dismantled as wishful thinking. However, based on the press release we got yesterday, it's not wishful thinking anymore. They're starting to roll it back. So what are the travel professionals looking for? And you can see that they've largely gotten what they were looking for. They got the easing of the travel restrictions, right? They got shorter quarantines. And I guess they might not necessarily have gotten that last point, which is a concerted vaccination push. But in addition to that, I would almost call this as part of the travel restrictions, they've also gotten rid of penalizing airlines that bring in COVID positive patients. And so I think that's a good step in the right direction. But once again, the target that a lot of these people are saying, if they're saying it at all, is the end of 2023 is when all of this sort of ends. So that means another full year, at least 15 months of this in some way, shape, or form. And that's kind of where I'm sitting. I don't think COVID zero policies completely go away in China until the end of 2023, but I was very surprised at these initial moves that they made so soon after their national political meetings. And so just like last year where I was wrong, where I said that they'd probably get rid of their COVID zero policies in 2022, I might be wrong again. And they might completely get rid of their COVID zero policies before the end of 2023. So once again, I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Now, the other thing is, the one thing that I always like to stress is diversification on this channel. And so I do want to just show you guys the tracker that the Patreons get access to. And essentially what I'm trying to point out here is that diversification is very important. And there's a ton of names right now that are trading under 75% of their intrinsic value. And so as you think about constructing your portfolio in this environment, as the share prices continue to decline, keep thinking about diversification, keep thinking about investing intelligently. Now, if you missed the press release on the zero COVID policies getting curbed a little bit, no problem. I actually linked the video right here.